In this video, I'm going to share with you why I think Victor Wembanyama right now, while I'm speaking in May of 2024, is a fantastic purchase. And please keep in mind, I could be totally wrong. This is not financial advice. This is just my opinion and why I think he's a good buy. So before I go into my computer, I'm going to share my screen, show you what I'm looking at, show you the data. The way to make money in sports cards is hit it where they ain't, right? I think that's a famous quote by, is it Mickey Mantle, I think, right? Hit it where they ain't. Buy when others are not buying, right? If you buy into the hype, like right now while I'm speaking, like Anthony Edwards is in the Western Conference Finals, everyone's on him, right? His prices are through the roof, and there's probably not much room to make money, okay? The way to make money in sports cards is buy in the off season when someone's prices have dropped. That's usually a good indicator as to why someone's a good purchase. And Victor Wembanyama is a special case because he's probably the best prospect we've seen in the NBA since LeBron. And when his cards first came out in like February and March, like his Prism cards, which are like his good like basketball rookie cards, prices were insanity. And the way sports cards usually works is when someone's cards first come out, they usually are really high and they'll drop like 30-40% usually. So like if a card's selling for like $500, it'll usually drop to like $350 or $400. However, Victor Wembanyama, just as an example, his Prism Silver PSA 10 was over $2,000. It was like $2,300, $2,400, $2,500 when it first came out, and that card has shot all the way down to around $900. What that tells me is the hype is over, the floor is very low, and the ceiling is very high, right? That's the type of buys you want to be making. You want to be buying guys where the risk is low and the reward is really good. And Victor Wembanyama, of course, when the basketball season rolls around in September or October, he's going to have a lot of excitement. He's going to have a lot of hype because he's obviously a great player. And the Spurs should pick up a piece or two, right? Which will even skyrocket his value. Like, what if the Spurs pick up Trae Young or Paul George? I'm just making stuff up, but it would do a lot for his value. There's really only upside from here, in my opinion, or just based on my experience in sports cards. When someone goes down this much in value, there's really not much more to go down, but the upside's high, right? That's why buying a player when he's super hot or when his cards first come out is usually a bad idea because they go down. It's just how sports cards works, right? It's a very like hype-driven market. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head into my computer and share with you what I'm looking at, my opinions, my thoughts. Let's do it. If you're enjoying the content of the video and want to learn how to make a side income with sports cards, I spent the past 3 months putting together a training to show you exactly how it's done in detail. Sports cards has allowed me to live a life beyond my wildest imagination, and I'm thankful for the hobby every single day. That is the reason I teach sports cards, and I'm so passionate about it. At the end of the training, we offer a paid program where you can work closer with me. However, I do not want you joining until you've watched the training I put together. It will show you exactly what's inside the program and how to make money with sports cards, and from there, you can make an educated decision. If you'd like to sign up for the training, either scan the QR code on the screen or text the word Eric to 973-755-9486, or click the link in the description. Just to repeat it, if you'd like to sign up and watch the training, scan the QR code or text Eric to 973-755-9486, or click that link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. All right, everybody, this is a very good one. I know people ask me all the time, what are you buying? What are you buying? What players should I be buying, right? So, I'll give it to you guys. Victor Wembanyama, in my opinion, right now, while I'm speaking in May of 2024, is a great buy, and here's why. So if you have followed anything I've ever said, or you're new to the channel, new to the group, new to me, whatever, the way to make money in sports cards is simple, right? You buy low, you sell high, but how do you do that, right? People say that all day. Oh, it's simple. Buy low, sell high. I get comments in my Facebook ads all the time. This guy's an idiot. Buy low and sell high. That's all you have to do. Well, how do you actually do that? And this is the way to do it. Or at least this is the way I've been doing it for a long, long time, and I've been very successful at it. So I put this quote right here. So be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. It's a famous Warren Buffett quote. It's kind of this methodology behind stock investing. He's the greatest stock investor of all time. And how can we apply that to sports cards? So with sports cards, it's actually pretty easy, right?
you buy the player that nobody's on. Okay? Let me explain. So right now, while I'm speaking basketball, right, we're getting near the finals. The Spurs are completely out of it. Right? They've been out of it for a few months. And these prices reflect it. Now, Victor Wembanyama is one of the greatest prospects of all time. So, that's why these prices are so volatile. But when his Prism Silver PSA 10 came out, the first few sales were a little over $2,000. And look today, it's under $1,000. Crazy. Why does this happen? Because people get excited, and then people realize, okay, $2,000 is ridiculous for a card that is very common, and then it settles. Usually it doesn't settle this severely. Usually if it starts at $2,300, it'll settle $1,500, $1,600. But this card dropped in half just because he's such an amazing prospect and people were so excited when it first came out. Now, the floor on this card is probably not going to drop too much on Victor Wembanyama, right? He's kind of settled. However, if you play your cards right, literally play your cards right, what you can do is buy now and sell right before the season begins, okay? Because the hype, momentum, maybe the Spurs pick up someone, maybe they draft someone exciting, I don't know, anything can happen. But the floor is not much and the ceiling is high, right? And you always want to sell before the season because most guys don't perform up to expectations. It's just the way sports cards goes. Even Victor Wembanyama, someone as great as this, just no good. I would never hold him to the season. Most guys fall. I'll buy him back, mid-season. Now, let me show you how I'm doing this, just to show you that I'm not a bullshit artist and I'm actually practicing what I preach. So, I actually just bought this card. No, I actually still have to pay for it. But this red, you can see right here. So, this red Victor Wembanyama at a $299, $1,273, $1,381 after tax. And I bought this last night, and I want to show you what I was looking at when buying it. And hopefully, this will give you a clear indication of my thought process and how to make money in sports cards. So if we look here, Victor Wembanyama red at a $299 Prism 2023. Right, this is the card I purchased. Let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, so let's look at sold items here, and you can see this is the one I bought, $1,273. Now, if you look at this card, first of all, the reason I'm buying is to get it graded. Okay, that's a whole other thing in itself. But the condition of this card, in my opinion, is good. Probably has a 50 to 60% chance of getting a 10, but if it does, I'll make a lot of money. And you can see it's in excellent condition. Also, this card's coming from Shanghai, China. What that tells me is this card's probably ripped open from a pack. People in China don't really grade cards because the grading company's in America, so it's not an easy process. The card looks well centered. Maybe it has a surface issue I can't see. But anyways, that's why I bought the card. But anyways, let's look at the data, right? So this card, you could see its demise, right? $1,273. The sale, this is actually the same exact card. Is it the same card? No, it's not the same card. Same seller, different card. One did $1,680, $1,800, $1,800, $1,700. And if we go all the way back, actually there were some lower sales here, but sometimes Prism sales will fluctuate based on the condition of the card. The same card could be $1,200, then another one could do $1,700 just based on the condition. But you can see its demise, right? In April it's $1,800. I just bought it for $1,300. And what I see is a PSA 10 just did $3,000. And my methodology when I'm grading cards, I want to at least double my money when I'm buying a card to get it graded. So this tells me after fees and everything, I'll just about double my money. But my thought process is Victor Wembanyama is at his floor, right? So this $3,000 card, it's not going to go down too much more. I could be totally wrong here, but maybe another $100 to $200. But if I get this card graded, process takes about a month. I do this with a bunch of other Victor Wembanyama. Some will grade at 10, some won't. But he's going to gain a lot of hype and momentum, especially I think at the National Card Show, which is at the end of July. He's going to gain a lot of hype. And I think the $3,000 card, if I'm able to get a 10, I'll move for $35,000 to $4,000. Or if it doesn't grade, I'll make a little bit on the raw sale and move on. But I'm putting myself in a good position. I like to say I'm putting myself with the wind in my back, right? Putting myself in a position where I think cards are going to go up in value, right? Buy low, sell high. And if you factor grading into this, right? That's why sports cards is amazing, right? You could buy a card here for $12.73, and if it gets a 10, all of a sudden it's worth $3,000, right? That's a good business model. At least it is to me. So yeah, that's Victor Wembanyama. And honestly, like, I know I'm showing you a bigger example. I just wanted to show you like a card I actually just bought, so you know, because I know these people on the internet run around saying do this, do that, and they don't actually do it. But like, if you want to use a smaller example, right? Victor Wembanyama, Prism. Prism's probably his best branded product. You could see, like, you could even use simple cards like that silver example I was showing you. Let's see what this card's selling for right now. So let's go to sold items, do gallery. Oh, this is gallery. Let's do over $100, so we could filter it. PSA 9's like 3,000. Last PSA 10 at 1,000. So you can see you could buy this card for, there's a lot of them. You could buy it for $370, and a PSA 10's right around 1,000. And I think this card is going to push upwards to like 12, 13, 1,400. I don't think that, like I said, I don't think the floor is that much. And there's a million Victor Wembanyama cards. Like, you could even go simple, like, I know his green is a little bit cheaper, right? If you're just getting into sports cards, you could buy things like his green, which is $165. And if it's in good condition, which I have a bunch of other videos you could ask me for, I'll send you trainings on how to know if it's in good condition. But his green PSA 10 is like 400 probably, right? So like 400, 600, that's probably not a real sale. So it's like 400. You could buy it for like 150 right now. And there's a lot of really, really good Victor Wembanyama cards out there, like a ton. But yeah, this is why I think Victor Wembanyama is a good buy right now. Once again, I could be totally wrong. This is just what I've done to make money. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been wrong. Like, anything can happen to a player, so this is not financial advice. Don't go and spend all your savings on Victor Wembanyama, because anyone can get hurt. Anyone can go down in value. Anyone can get, like, arrested, right? Like, look at Ja Morant. His values were high until he started being an idiot and getting arrested. So, take it with a grain of salt. But if you repeat this process and do it with multiple players every single month, buying low, buying the guys no one wants, and selling when the season's about to begin, and selling into the hype, generally you'll do well for yourself, or at least I have. But hopefully this video makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know, comment, DM, shoot me a message, wherever, and hopefully you enjoyed.
Hopefully that video made sense. And honestly, the way I invest in sports cards, I like to hit home runs. Like, I want to buy a card for like $800 and flip it for like $1,500. What I'm showing you here, this whole thing with Victor Wembanyama, is not a strategy to make like a little bit of money, right? We're not buying a card for $100 and flipping it for 105 or 110 or 120, right? I want to make a real good amount of money. And the way I've done that in sports cards, in a bunch of sports cards behind me, I'm doing that with right now guys like Trevor Lawrence. It's the best way, at least in my opinion, I've seen to make money in sports cards, right? Warren Buffett has a famous quote. I've said it a million times in my videos. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. The greatest stock investor of all time. That's what he does. Basically what it means is buy stocks when no one's on them and then sell them when everyone's on them, right? And Alex Hormozi, I heard, had a great quote. It was something along the lines of, an opportunity is only an opportunity when there's risk. The minute everyone's on the opportunity, it's not an opportunity anymore, right? So you have to take some risks if you want to get ahead in life, or in this case, make a lot of money with sports cards, right? And who knows, right? I could be totally wrong. Maybe, God forbid, Victor Wembanyama gets injured and his value goes down. I've done this strategy before and it's backfired. Like, for example, Zion Williamson a few years ago. I was buying a bunch of his silver Prism PSA 10s for like $2,500. They shot down to like $1,800, $1,700 because they got injured in the offseason. So stuff happens, right? Guys, you'll lose sometimes, but it's about winning more than losing. When you win more than you lose, okay? So I'm just giving you my opinion and what's worked for me in sports cards. So hopefully you guys can replicate it, make some money doing sports cards. And I tell you guys this because this stuff changed my life, right? It allowed me to never get a job, paid for my college, and I want to see the same for you guys, right? Even if it may not let you quit your job, right? Make an extra few $1,000s a month on the side, right? That would be super helpful for those of you guys that had 9-to-5 jobs. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.